Dear everyone, today I'm sharing an incident that reminded me of the power of silence. This happened some years ago when I visited an art museum in Bangalore where I saw a strange, beautiful painting over there. That painting stole my sudden attention because of the bold title quoted on it as The Portrait of Silence. I was astonished to see it because there was nothing called silent in the painting. Everything in it was only turbulence and chaos. I saw the sky in it canvassed with full of dark clouds, pouring with heavy rainfall. The wind too was blowing so ferociously, wherein the trees were turbulently trembling, shaking, and bending themselves because of the heavy storm. And nearby there was a waterfall which was seen roaring down a hill. And even the river down was not flowing silently. It was gushingly swelling with a huge boat in it that was seen vagrantly tramping to hold itself stable on the water. There were also some people who were scaringly wobbling and screaming and shouting with fear inside the boat. Some were even fiercely thrown out of the boat. I could not figure out what really was silence in the portrait. Nothing was jubilant in it, everything was just chaos in it. But as I keenly noticed the painting, I saw a tiny nest on a treetop where two little birds in it were busy feeding their young ones. They were just enjoying their little life amidst the huge chaos outside the nest. These birds were so silently enjoying their parenting job as though they were unaware of the roaring nature outside their nest. And life is just the same to each one of us, isn't it? We too have to learn to be silent amidst all the disturbing sounds around us. The world around us is full of many such disturbances, and also our internal world, called the mind, is filled with so much of tumult. Now, the question is, are you able to maintain your silence amidst all such disturbances? But let's see what at all is silence in the first place. To be silent, you cannot train your mind in that direction of silence. This would be an impossible task for the mind. No matter how you try, you cannot silence the mind. Nature has designed the mind to wander. And if at all you attempt to silence it, it would only be a dead kind of a silence, not the lively one. Lively means the one which is full of life. Mind has to die to become silent. It has to die. And without an active mind, you will be no less than a dead body. Moreover, what's wrong with an overactive mind? It's just like the movement of breath within you. And what's wrong with the movement of the breath within you? With its rising high and receding low kind of patterns within you? Isn't it a wonderful movement of life? We are alive because of this movement of the breath. And so are we lively because of the movement of the mind within us. Movement is life for the mind. And if we silence the mind, life will end. What if the mind moves ferociously or fetteringly? So what? Or what if your mind is aggressive at times or agreeable at times? Or so what if your mind is horrific at times and honorable at times? Or so what if your mind is panicking at times and is polite at times? So what? Both are your own movements of the mind. If you yourself do not accept your darker side, then who else will do it? Whatever its movements are, it's anyway your own creation. So simply enjoy its movements. Anything that runs in your mind is like a blowing wind. Sometimes the wind blows steadily, sometimes the wind blows heavily, sometimes roaringly, sometimes quietly too. And what's wrong with these movements? What's wrong with the movement of the wind? If you try to silence, or if say, stop the movement of the wind, then will not all life on earth simply fade out, simply die away? It's just the same with the mind also. If you silence the movement of the mind, it is dead kind of a silence. First, let's try to understand how the mind works. The mind is either in the past or in the future, but never in the present. This oscillation from the past to the future or from the future to the past is a continuous process. You cannot stop this process, but you can only observe its movements without interfering into it from your own deeper form of mind. Now, don't get confused. There are no two kinds of minds within you. It's just that a small portion of it is on the visible front, and a larger part of it is in the invisible depth. Only in the presence, that is in the now, there is silence. That is in the present movement. But the mind cannot fix itself in the present moment. But if you attempt to dive into your deeper invisible part and observe the visible part from there, then the mind will be in the present moment. At the topmost layer, the mind cannot remain in the present because it is against its movements. Present means silence, and to be in the present means the disappearance of the peripheral form of mind. This is what Zen calls as no mind. No mind means to be in the deeper layer of mind and still be in the present. This is a lively state of a silent mind, but not a dead kind of a mind. This deeper layer actually constitutes of around 90% of your mind's existence. This is also called as the subconscious mind. And only 10% of your top mind is a conscious form of mind. And almost everyone are residents of this 10% top layer mind. You cannot silence this 10% form of mind, but as you start observing from your deeper mind, that is the 90% underneath mind, then this 10% peripheral form of mind turns to become more and more positive and serene on its own. This is what true silence is. To silence the mind means to observe the activities of the top mind through the deeper form of your mind. The peripheral layer of the mind cannot be silenced, but you can remain in your deeper layers and function silently from there. From there, you are only an observer. You are not interfering into the activities of your topmost layer of mind. You are just watching it. You are the witness there. You are not the playwright, you are not the director, nor the actor or the character. Nothing. Just the observer. Just the witness. And this is silence. Thank you for listening.